Hi, this is Pat McPherson from ITS Partners, and today I'm going to be showing you incident response for security operations. Now, where does security operations fit inside of your organization? This comes up frequently. Pat, I have great tools in-house for antivirus, doing protection and firewalls. I've got tools for detecting threats. I have tools to doing correlation, where you feed in multiple security products into like a correlation, like a SIM, and so forth. Well, ServiceNow comes in and is the response. So think about when a security-related event happens. What are the different things that you need to do, when a machine gets a threat, when a virus gets hit by it? What do we need to do? What personnel need to be involved? What are the tools that need to be run or scanned? What things maybe need to get reset? ServiceNow comes into the response side. So in this demo, I'm going to be showing you a runbook. And I'm going to demo here a device that becomes infected. I'm going to pull data from VirusTotal. The antivirus is already going to know the hash of the threat that's in question. And that's going to populate inside of ServiceNow. I'm going to then have different tasks be triggered depending on outcomes. So there's going to be a task for scanning a threat. There's going to be a task involving different personnel from different departments. Sure. I do a lot of health checks for lots of different customers for antivirus tools. And, frequently, that a lot of times there just gets to be a point where it's like, hey, let's just reimage this particular computer, right? But maybe that's a whole other department or a whole other process, right? So I'll show you how we can go about wiping and reimaging a computer. And this one just makes so much sense. So machine, got hit by viruses or multiple viruses. Well, maybe we should go ahead and the primary user of that device that was hit, let's reset their password. It's something that we should maybe think about doing, but maybe gets forgotten a lot. So that's just part of a standard response process. And then at the very end, there's going to be a post-incident review where all the different tasks that would be completed in response to this threat will be documented for us automatically. So in the demo, I have a device here called Thor Server. It's a critical server in my environment. I am leveraging semantic endpoint protection and advanced threat protection for antivirus and advanced threats. Well, I've loaded this machine up with lots of little viruses and critters, and ultimately what's going to happen is those events are going to be sent to my SIM. In my example, I'm leveraging Splunk. And then I'm going to show you how we can search for threats here in Splunk and send them to ServiceNow. I'm doing that in the demo, right? We can programmatically just have Splunk automatically, when certain criteria is met or fulfilled, to make those incidents for you on your behalf, so we can stop moving at people speed and move a bit faster to stay in front of potential problems. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the demo. All right, now that we're inside the demo, here is my Thor server. I have loaded this up with just a ton of little critters here. For those here in the 90s, this is the old Bonsai Buddy. Oh, there's some more critters running crazy. Come on, buddy, wake up. We're doing a demo. There we go. So, yeah, I've got a number here of different viruses and critters running here in my environment. And here you're seeing semantic endpoint protections. Yeah, it's making alerts here and letting me know, hey, there's things on here. Now for the demo, I've disabled remediation to show these events being created. So next, what I would like to do is to go to Splunk. So inside of Splunk here, I have done a new search. So I searched specifically for Thor server, which is my device, and then I also did a search here for Bonsai. So scrolling down here a little bit, you're going to see an event here inside of my Splunk. All of these fields and attributes that you see here in this list can be pulled and mapped into ServiceNow. And this integration that I'm showing you is one that's available out of the box here. So there's such good information here. So my antivirus product pulled in the hash of the particular threat. It's telling me the different paths that this threat placed itself into. So what I'm going to do next here is I'm just going to show you here how to manually go ahead and trigger an incident. Now, for production, we would never probably have incidents being created manually. It's a nice option, right? But just know that you can define the criteria that's like, you know what? If I see whatever it would be, X, Y, and Z, I would just like to have an incident created so I can stop working at a people speed and begin working faster, if you would. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to click here, create ServiceNow security incident. And you're going to see here in just a moment when this refreshes, you're going to see all the different attributes here and the fields inside of ServiceNow that I'm mapping. So here as an example, you're going to see short description. And I have populated in this type of data here. So semantic malware attack known as adware bonsai infected the Thor server. That's very important. I want to highlight that because you're going to see it here in the next spot when I start showing you about how do we respond now. I got a server. It got infected. What do we as an organization need to do next? Okay, we've switched gears now to ServiceNow, and now we're going to begin working on the response here. So inside ServiceNow console, I'm going to do here just a quick search here for my security, and here I see security incidents, and that's what I have here. I'm going to sort it here by the number, and I'm going to work on the latest one. So yeah, let's drill in here. So here we got lots of information that has been populated. Here, I see the configuration item of Thor server right inside of the incident, so I know exactly what I'm working on. I can see here the category. Where did this come in from? Well, it came in from Splunk here, and SIM is my source of this. And I've also specified a subcategory of semantic malware attack. So when I was showing you on Splunk, that was some of the stuff I was showing you there. And if you remember when I was highlighting before the short description, here it is. Semantic malware attack known as adware bonsai infected the Thor server. So why this is cool, you could probably imagine inside of your organization, everyone's had a critter or two, an outbreak, or viruses that happen. And they happen, and you kind of forget about them, but then they can kind of flare back up again. So what I think is really neat about this here, look at this. I can hit knowledge results, and it's just going to search here through my short description. So once upon a time, I actually have encountered this particular threat in my environment, and I see here another employee actually wrote a KB article on how to deal with this. So to remove it, normally the antivirus will remove it. Sometimes in the past, it didn't have up-to-date definitions, and once it was updated, it removed it. Okay. Another time we had to kill an executable that allowed it to be removed without forcing the machine to cleanly boot. So this is just so cool. It empowers your users and lets them figure out, oh yeah, we've hit this before, and it's just being fed right inside the incident response side of the house. Now let's scroll down here a little bit more, and you're going to see a more advanced description. So this is telling me, hey, here's the path that it was infected, the time that it was infected, and look at here, the current remediation state is allowed. Remember earlier when I was talking about having different criteria? Well, maybe we only make incidents when something was, the infection was allowed, or the infection is still infected. It was unable to clean or delete or block, right? Now check this out here under activity. I actually have a workflow that triggered inside of ServiceNow when it received this information from Splunk. It actually pulled in data here from my hash. I didn't type this in, it just brought it in. So here was a hash, and that hash, what I ended up doing, as a security analyst, a lot of times we'll go to VirusTotal, log into VirusTotal, and do a search for it. Well, the workflow automatically populated that for me. So it took this hash here. Let me go back to incident details, and you're going to see, hey, threat found, here's the hash. 27 out of 62 antivirus engines, flag this here. Here's where it's referencing. And you can just go ahead and select that and go right inside of it. And you can start doing a little bit digging around here on this particular threat. So that's just part of it, and it can just really empower your users even more, getting them information without having to hop around and find different things and run different logs, if you would. Now I want to scroll a little bit more down to the bottom here, and this is really what it's all about here, is going to be this response workflow, okay? So I've already done one here, the security IOC lookup here, and that's where it went ahead and it queried out to VirusTotal, grabbed that hash and pulled that information in. But look at this one. Let's walk through this together. So think about your organization. You get a threat. What are the things that you need to do in a repeatable order? And this can be used with really any type of a security-related incident. So here, I've got a task here. Hey, can we go ahead and rescan the endpoint and make sure the malware was found. Sure. So let's actually go ahead and do that. And here you'll see related tasks. So I have a task here that's being specified for an individual to perform. And let me go ahead and do this here. I'm going to hit the outcome. And just play with me. I'm going to hit yes. I rescanned it. I logged into my antivirus tool, and I see that it was still, the adware bonzi was still there. Now, when I save my incident, watch what will happen now. I'm going to refresh my workflow, and you're going to see it's going to go to the next step. Okay, I rescanned it to make sure. Let's go ahead and, was the removal of a malware successful? Yes, it was, or no, it wasn't. So let's, in this example, say no, it was not actually successful. Let's go ahead and hit no here for my outcome. And apply this, and same thing. Here we go. And it's moving right through this order here, right? So now I've got a task. Well, I've got a guy I work with down the hall. He's actually the department or the individual that's in charge of reimaging computers, as an example. Well, you can specify different personnel with different skills to receive different tasks, as an example. So here I've got one here to say, hey, you know what? Tony's the one that's actually responsible for imaging of machines. So when Tony would log into ServiceNow to work his incidents, he's going to see that he has a task telling him to image this machine. Now, when Tony also goes ahead and drills in, he knows the machine is called Thor Server. He knows which one he needs to be able to look at. And now, leveraging the ServiceNow platform, Tony can go ahead and see in the grand scheme of things, where does this device actually fall in the grand scheme of things. And he sees it's part of a point of sale. And this is throughout everything here. You can always click on the dependencies. That's very nice. So here, let's go ahead and move this along and pretend here that Tony went ahead and re-imaged this computer. So they finished it, and actually let me put some notes here. I redeployed the Thor server by pushing a job via MDT to the device and post it. All right. Now that we have done that, we're back here. Now look at this. Here's an option here. We can now, in the workflow, let me go back to my workflow here. Reload it. We imaged it. Okay, here's a task here. Let's reset that user's password. Okay, so if you guys, however you're getting an inventory on your devices, or if you're populating them from your SIM or whatever it would be, if we know the user that is associated to a particular device, we could just then, have a task created to then, let's reset this particular user. Maybe they got phished. Phishing is so huge right now, and everyone's getting phished. My wife just got phished on email last night. She's like, "What's this URL?" And it's just one of those things, like you get these viruses and you just don't think about it. And this is, again, that procedure. We're just always taking these actions one after another. So here, let's go ahead, reset the user password. So let's drill in here. And here you'll see affected user. Adam has been associated to the Thor server. So that's what I would know here to go ahead and reset an Active Directory. Now I could manually do this. These workflows can talk out to your domain controllers and just reset it for you. All this stuff that I've been showing you can be bi-directional, and instead of having Tony re-image that machine, by dropping a job and re-imaging it, well, how about we just have it automatically do it, right? Those are some of the more mature things that we could do. So here, let's go ahead here. I'm going to put some notes. I reset Adam's password and confirmed he was able to authenticate appropriately on his new device that Tony provisioned. Right on. Post it. Okay. It's complete now. Update. And while that saves, Let's go back to our workflow. Was this part of a larger breach? Maybe. Maybe not, right? So look at this here. It's just to get you thinking here. Create tasks, having legal, having HR involved. Sure. Maybe this was part of a phishing scheme. Maybe there's videos that you have, and you will automatically email your user a video if they got infected, right? These are things that we can do to respond and let people know about things. Now, the last thing I want to show here, actually, I need to finish this out. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna just build out the rest of this workflow real quick, and I want to show you the little bow at the end of this here. So I flip that to no. Let me save this incident once more. Okay. So I'm gonna and these workflows that I've been showing you can be moving the state of your incident throughout this, depending on your guys' process. So at this point here, what I want to do is I want to go into the review state. So let me do that, and I'll show you what this allows us to do. Once I am in the review state, I can begin what's called a post-incident review. And now look at what this did. This is so cool. It takes all the data that was populated by all of your different individuals here. So look at all the different summaries and work notes that all of your different individuals did. This is all part of that post-incident review. So let's go ahead and scroll through this a little bit. So scrolling through, here are my workflows, right? Was the removal successful? Remember, like MDT here, I redeployed the Thor server by pushing a Microsoft deployment toolkit to the device. And you see here it was Pat McPherson. It was me, right? But honestly, this incident would potentially hit multiple individuals within your organization. And then all their different names and who did what is all part of this part of this report. So work notes, are reset Adam's password, he confirmed he's able to authenticate. So this saves people, especially security analysts, so much time when they have to respond to something and they have to document at the end of this. When ServiceNow is doing the response for you and you're involving all these different personnel, it will just put this report together. Now, there's much cleanup that we can do on this as well, as far as specifying, do you want to have like workflow details in here, or perhaps we just contain work notes as an example. So just know that that's highly configurable within your organization for a post-incident review. So guys, I'd really like to, and gals as well, I'd really appreciate you guys, gals, joining me today on this demo, and we'll be doing lots more of these. It's really cool technology, and I was happy to show it a little bit. If this is something that you feel could be helpful in your environment, through the works of marketing magic, I'm sure we'll have a phone number or an email pop up that you guys can give us. Go ahead and reach out to us, and would happy to talk about this and other use cases in your environment. And thanks again for watching. Bye.